A new tornado warning has been issued.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? And now, can you see me? We are live once again on the Ryan Hall Y'all channel. Just want to make sure that everything's going smooth here before we dive into the coverage. I think everything's still set up and moving along just fine. We were just live for members not too long ago, and now we are live to public as we have three tornado warnings. Sorry, we sent out the pre-stream notification a little early there. We knew something was going to happen today. It just took a little bit longer than what we thought initially. Here we go. Tornado warning currently in effect for Liberty, Polk, and Hardin counties in Texas, okay? This is the first one that was issued not too long ago. Big time rotation signature here, moving right up towards the Davis Hill State Park, okay? If you know anybody over here in Liberty, Polk, or Hardin counties in Texas, especially near the Davis Hill State Park, you got to let them know that there's probably the most dangerous storm that we've seen today is right on their doorstep. That's going to go on over to Highway 146 on its approach to places like Marvels, Mason Lake Estates, Votaw, Thicket, and Bragg in Texas. Okay, so this is all in Texas here. Another tornado warning that we have is just to the south of that with a really classic looking hook down here to the west of Dayton, Texas, although also just to the east of Atascosa in Texas. The rotation on this one is a little bit less impressive than the one up there a little bit farther to the north, but it's still there. And once again, it's right on your doorstep in Huffman, Eastgate, and Gum Grove. Places like the West Liberty Airport need to be taking shelter immediately. Go ahead, meteorologist Andy Hill.
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, that's Atascocita for your future reference on that town. And I just wanted to say that we have a classic presentation on the northeastern tornado warning right now that's extending into those counties. From the Houston Doppler radar, we're able to see through the storm from south to north. We can actually see where the tornado itself is, which is just south of that really concerning look of rotation right there. Or on this side of my screen, rather. And so we're looking at the mesocyclone, or the spinning part of the storm, the bulk of those brighter greens and brown colors next to me there. But the actual tornado itself is those 2 pixels that are kind of like below that, those brighter colors that are touching. So a really interesting look at how the storm itself is kind of segmented. As we slice through it with those radar beams, we can see where the actual tornado itself is and where the rest of the spinning part of the storm is, and how it reaches down in that classic hook shape that you see. So really unique look. We don't often get this sort of orientation of the radar cutting through a tornadic storm, but that is just another way to confirm what's happening from a meteorological standpoint.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, meteorologist Andy Hill, who's here with us today. We've got Elijah as well, and we're going to be here for the foreseeable future as we continue to cover these storms. We just got a severe thunderstorm warning, by the way, a little bit farther to the east in Louisiana, and this has a tornado possible tag on it. So we're looking for a severe thunderstorm capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour winds and half-dollar size hail over over here near Manny, Louisiana. This is Sabine, Texas, Red River, Louisiana, DeSoto, Louisiana. And also, there's a chance that this storm also drops the tornado at some point on its approach to Manny, Pleasant Hill, and Rubbeline in Louisiana. So y'all get ready to take shelter up there. We have ongoing tornado warnings back to the south, though. This is in Tyler County, Texas, and Hardin County, Texas down here. We've got a tornado warning for the next 32 minutes for you guys over here near Kuntz as well. So our most concerning tornado warning right now is this one, which actually just got upgraded to a PDS tornado warning. PDS tornado warning now for Liberty County in Texas. Let's get everybody's attention here. Once again, a PDS tornado warning means that we've got a particularly dangerous situation on our hands. Let me read some of the warning text here. Once again, a PDS tornado warning remains in effect until 4:15 Central for North Central Liberty and Southeastern Polk counties. Damaging tornado. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. You are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, and complete destruction is possible. Right here around Sam Houston and Trinity River Lake Estates. Once again, getting ready to cross over Highway 146 on its approach to places like Votal and Thicket. Right now, the tornado is likely going over Highway 146. Let me pull up this warning details again, and I'll show you one more time here that velocity couplet. Right there near Trinity Lake Estates, moving off to the north and east. Yeah, I'm getting word that the Highway 146 area is heavily forested and you're not going to be able to see anything. So if you do live in this area, you shouldn't be out there looking for it. It's not going to be an easy tornado to see, that's for sure. Just go ahead and get to shelter. Especially, we've got to continue to be concerned about our friends over here in Votal and Thicket as well. This is coming right up towards your general location. So take shelter now. This is a PDS tornado warning. You want to get into a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you're outdoors or in a mobile home, you got to move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourselves from flying debris. If this storm continues, which it looks like a storm that definitely has the ability to continue for quite some time, we've got to be looking out up here all the way as far north and east as Wildwood and Oakshade as well. You guys are under tornado warnings. The PDS tornado warning might be extended up towards your region here soon. So if you're just now tuning in, we've got a particularly dangerous situation unfolding here in Liberty County, Texas, where we've got a tornado on the ground doing damage near Highway 146 near Trinity River Lake Estates. Some more specific places in the path here also include the F.R. Duke Farm Airport and the Davis Hill State Park area. Now, that's not the only tornado warning we have. In fact, this one down here to the south is looking really interesting as well. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, Ryan, I actually wanted to talk about that one in particular. The one that is now PDS to the north and east, that's going to be rain wrapped for anyone just joining in and maybe thinking that they're going to go out and start seeing these things because we're live now and you want to chase them. Don't bother going for that one. That's a pretty incredibly dangerous situation to be going for, especially with the rain wrapped nature of it. So you want to be taking shelter in any of these warnings that come through. This one further to the south and west that's warned, I'm particularly concerned about that one, though, because it's going to track east-northeast. It's going to be pretty much parallel to where this now PDS warning has produced a tornado for sure. We've seen actually some lowered correlation coefficient values that indicate a debris signature took place there, verifiable by looking at differential reflectivity as well. But once this kind of lines up with the same longitude that this previous storm produced a tornado with, this one looks much better, in my opinion. It's not shrouded in a bunch of rain. It looks like a very healthy supercell with characteristics that I've looked at thousands of times. So I would be paying attention to this quite a lot as it moves up to the north and east through the Eastgate area. So please be taking shelter and thinking down the line out ahead of these things who we would be calling. So make sure we get this word out as fast as possible now that we've just started the stream.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, meteorologist Andy Hill. A good reminder there to start calling people that you know in this area. Let them know what's going on. It is December. It's the day after Christmas. We've got people traveling. We've got a lot of people probably not paying a whole lot of attention to the weather. We had a slow start to the event. Maybe people have stopped paying attention as much. So it's a really good idea to try to get the word out as much as possible that we've got life-threatening situations unfolding now out here in southeastern Texas. So yeah, we've got two storms that look like monsters here. One's producing a big tornado right now near the Highway 146 area, just near Trinity River Lake Estates in Texas. This is what that looks like, by the way. We mentioned it being a heavily forested, heavily wooded area. This is what you're going to see if you go outside or if you're driving down that road. So definitely don't go out there trying to look for the tornado. You're not going to see it. And then on top of that, it's rain wrapped, right? So this is an incredibly dangerous place to be right now, this specific area on Highway 146 near Hull, Texas. However, we do have another storm, which is the one that Andy was just talking about. And it looks really, really good on radar. If you're looking at which storm's probably most likely to produce a tornado, it actually looks better than our PDS warned storm. We've got a large storm capable of producing a tornado right now near Huffman, moving up towards East Grove and Gum Grove. Please take shelter if you're out there. Also, the town of Dayton needs to be in their safe spots as well. Storm chaser Jordan Hall is over here in Dayton, so we should have a really good view of this storm, as it looks less likely to be rain wrapped, but still a dangerous situation. You don't want to be trying to look for it. That's why we've got Jordan Hall out there. But he should have a good view of this as he gets on Highway 321 here soon. So we do have storm chasers out there. We've got meteorologist Andy Hill here. We've got the whole team together the day after Christmas to relay these warnings to you. Right now, we've got those 3 tornado warnings, the one PDS tornado warning, and we just got a new severe thunderstorm warning with another tornado possible tag on it down here for Harris and Liberty counties in Texas. Let's flip over to velocity here. Not a huge area of rotation, but still something's coming together there at the base of this storm near Cloverleaf, and this could produce a tornado. At the very least, it's going to produce 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts as it moves up through Barrett and Crosby over the next 25 minutes. So Barrett and Crosby in Texas, get ready. A severe thunderstorm is on the way. Get ready to potentially take shelter as well, as it's capable of producing a tornado. Right now in downtown Houston, you guys are getting pummeled by heavy rain, lots of lightning, nothing severe at the moment, but there is a special weather statement. Wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour are going to be likely in downtown Houston over the next 10 to 20 minutes. Okay. Let's go back up to our PDS tornado warning. Let's get you updated on that. Velocity continues to look quite impressive. It is very likely that we still have a large tornado somewhere near the Highway 146 area between Trinity River Lake Estates and Vanva Settlement near Grand Cane, moving up towards Votal and Thicket in Texas. Take shelter immediately. And then I wouldn't be surprised at all to see an upgrade to our warning down here to the west of Dayton as well. Like, this looks like it's just about to produce a tornado if it's not already. And we do have storm chasers on this one, so we should have some sort of visual shortly. Additionally, Brandon Clement is really close to the PDS warning, and so is Stephen McElroy. All right, so zooming out a little bit just to show you a broad view of everything that we've got going on. We do have these tornado warnings down here, but even as far north as up here towards Louisiana, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning for Red River, Natchitoches, and DeSoto counties in Louisiana. This does also have a tornado possible tag on it, so get ready to potentially take shelter in Zwol, Many, Robeline, Pleasant Hill, and Campty and the I-49 corridor near Powhatan in Louisiana. So big time uptick in storm activity just in the past 30 minutes here. Weather intensity score is currently at 121, which indicates very significant, dangerous, severe weather. All right, we've got a storm chaser out here with a tornado on the ground right now. This is near Huffman, Texas. This is a live look from Jason Cooley in Huffman, Texas. Wow. And this is the one. This is the one that looks better on radar. Okay. So he's going to give us a better view of this right here in a second, I guess. Holler back at me when he gets it back on there. Okay. I'm going to go to this view. So yeah, of course, the closer he gets to the tornado, the more unstable the connection gets. But we saw it. There's definitely a huge rotating mesocyclone there, and that we saw some activity on the ground here, and that's going to be with this storm near Eastgate and Gum Grove, now moving up towards Martha and Fullerton. Okay, so please take shelter if you guys are up there. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see a new warning from the National Weather Service here, upgrading this to confirmed. There it is. Once again, this is a live look right now near Highway, from the perspective of Highway 99, looking up towards Gum Grove. This tornado, if it remains on the ground, will eventually go up towards areas near Simmons Bottom, Webb Road, Winter Valley Estates, and everywhere in between. Some specific places that also need to be on the lookout here include the West Liberty Airport, the Dayton Independent School, and the Richter Elementary School. Look at that tornado. Wow. So once again, that's going to be for not our PDS warned storm. Our PDS storm might have a tornado that's even bigger than this right now. We just don't have a live shot of it. That one is still well on its way over towards Thicket. Okay, so stay sheltered if you're in Thicket, Texas. But right now, this one is looking like it's going to be a really serious situation here for our friends between Gum Grove and Simmons Bottom in Texas. This is Liberty County and Harris counties in Texas right now. Last couple of scans on the radar, it's honestly a little bit harder to tell exactly what's going on with the storm. So thank goodness for storm chaser Jason Cooley giving us a live look with some ground truth here at the tornado near Highway 686, getting ready to cross Texaco Road or the County Road 615 there. Looks like it might be roping out. Definitely don't let your guard down, though. If you're downwind here near Winter Valley Estates or Simmons Bottom, I'm actually surprised you're not under a new tornado warning yet, but that's probably coming soon. Just to give you an update on some of the other warnings that we have as well, we still have an ongoing PDS tornado warning up here. The rotation with this one is also looking a little bit less impressive right now, but still, you got to be underground and in your safe spot if you're near Vanva Settlement or Thicket. This is an extremely dangerous storm, and a tornado warning continues all the way over to Kuntz, Texas for the next 20 minutes. All right, so everybody over here near Saratoga, Rattlesnake Bend, Levelell, Honey Island, Dyes, Texas, all these places, you guys need to stay in your safe spots, okay? This is a good reminder to get everybody, if you have social media, if you want to help us get the word out about the stream today, please consider sharing this on social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is. Let people know that we're going to be here relaying these warnings for free, commercial free, all day and until we're not needed anymore. There's that new warning. So we just got a new tornado warning.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
That does go a little bit farther down the line here. for 33 minutes. This includes Dayton, Kendrick, Dayton Lakes, and Hardin. It'll be near Hardin about 4:20 Central. And you can still see the very classic signature here on reflectivity. This is our best looking storm right now in terms of which one's likely to produce a tornado. All of them are looking more and more impressive, though. If you go down the line here, this one is starting to get that look to it. So is the one just east of Houston. We've got to watch these very closely as well as they enter a more favorable
A new tornado watch has been
environment.
issued.
So if you are just now tuning in, we do have 4 tornado warnings at this point. Liberty County, Texas. Everybody in that county needs to be in their safe spot. Harris County, Texas. You guys as well. Hardin County. Take shelter. We just got a new severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. This one includes downtown Houston. So this is another one of those storms. There's actually 2 storms here that have their own rotation signatures moving through Houston right now. Neither of them are rotating quite enough to prompt a tornado warning, but they're close, to be honest. If this one continues to wrap up here near Jacinto City and Galena Park, that one probably would warrant a tornado warning in the near future as it goes up towards Cloverleaf and Channelview. You see that right there? This is some rotation. And these things are going to wrap up fast, so I would definitely be paying extra close attention here in Cloverleaf and Channelview in Texas. Also, places like Wood Forest Boulevard and Mantua, Texas. But regardless of whether or not there's a tornado in there, both of these storms are going to produce 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts in the entire flashing polygon there over the next 32 minutes. So get indoors at least and get ready to potentially take more substantial measures here soon if a tornado warning is issued. Lots of people in the Houston area here probably getting caught off guard right now by the severe weather. Please let your family members and friends know in this area, especially if they're traveling. I can't imagine how many people are on the interstates right now trying to get to an airport or, just making that 2 or 3 hour drive home after spending some time with family. There might be some people on Interstate 45 right now, for example, that just don't know the severity of the storms that are going on. All right, so we're down to 2 tornado warnings, and the good news is our PDS tornado warning has been allowed to expire. We no longer have a particularly dangerous situation on our hands. However, the storm over here north of Dayton continues to look more and more concerning. The one that is coming up towards Simmons Bottoms and Dayton Lakes, the ones that we just saw a tornado come out of the storm not too long ago through Jason's Stream. It's probably about to produce another one if it's not continuing to produce one right now, and it could be a big one as it approaches Merriam and Lakeland in Texas. Look at that big hook. Lots of warm, moist air coming into the storm here. Honestly, a perfect looking storm to take advantage of this environment. So that's unfortunate. Let's let everybody know. How many people, if you're in chat right now, how many people do we have in here from Eastern Texas? And how many do we have anybody that knows anybody that would be traveling through here right now? Let me know in the chat. Okay, good. We've got a lot of people tuning in from East Texas. Just want to make sure we're reaching the right people here. This will likely continue at least for the next 3 hours, potentially even longer than that. The on and off or the continued tornadic storms. We continue to see a concerning signature coming together here near Jacinto City and Cloverleaf in Texas. This one's not warned, but it's got my attention here as it comes up towards Sheldon and Mantua, Texas. Y'all, watch out. And then our main focus right now is going to be this tornado warned storm coming up towards Hardin, Texas. Yeah, and we've got two storm chasers following that storm right now. You can see them at the bottom of your screen. Those are live storm chasers right now, giving us the latest view of what's going on the ground. Jason actually had a tornado. I don't know if we've got a screen cap of that or a clip. I could probably find one in my mentions. Here we go. Yeah, this is what that looked like not too long ago. It was a little tornado. Thankfully, it looks to me like it was mostly in an empty field. But all of these storms are in fairly populated areas, so we're concerned about what might happen if we continue to see tornadoes spawn out of these things. Fisherman's, thanks for being here thanks for the 20 gifted. Yeah, it's not good. It's a populated area. I'm glad that we've got a lot of people, it seems like, here from East Texas. And yeah, congratulations to all the people that now have memberships. We just did a members only pre-stream waiting for the storms to kind of pop off. And now we are here. Michael says, I'm from Conroe, Texas here. I've traveled extensively through this area. It's all heavily wooded and sparsely populated. So specifically along like Highway 146 and stuff like that, that's definitely what we've seen so far. Unfortunately, some of the bigger storms that we're seeing now are over here near Pasadena, Interstate 10, near Channelview. I'm concerned about what might happen with this storm in the near future. Right now, it's just a strong storm capable of maybe producing a tornado at some time in the future. And then our other storm here is in a little bit more of a sparsely populated area, but it's headed up towards places like Merriam and Moss Hill, which, are towns, and Hardin. So we've got to make sure everybody in that area knows what's up. Go ahead, Andy.
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, I have my eye very closely on that storm near Jacinto City and Cloverleaf in Texas. And I think it's got maybe about 10 to 15 minutes until it reaches that same corridor, that same longitude where our last two storms popped off with those tornadoes so far today. Watching in particular, because it does look like if we look at mesoanalysis, we can look at the tendency for the air to spin, and that tendency grows much greater the further east we go from where the line of storms is right now. So another 10, 15 minutes is where it hits that wall of much better tendency to spin. So I think that if you give it another 10 or 15 minutes, and we especially talk about those areas where the storm is expected to be at that point, that would be where my concern grows greatest for this supercell in particular. I do have a close eye on it. However, I think it will wait just a little bit longer before it tries to do something funny, unless it gets nudged forward by what's ever behind it, because you can see that forward flank of the supercell just west of it kind of interacting with that storm as it goes east off the interstate.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, meteorologist Andy Hill. Let's go take another look at that warning here. And we'll do exactly that. Let's talk about where the storm might be 10, 15 minutes from now. We'll probably see a new severe thunderstorm warning issued for this part of it soon. And that would include places like Mantua and Lynchburg, which are not currently under any warning. It would also include likely Barrett in Texas, and places maybe a little closer to Mont Bellevue as well. All of you guys, if you're hearing me talk about your town right now, there's a storm that's going to be capable of producing a tornado moving into the area here. Right now, it's not producing a tornado, and I'm not saying that it's certainly going to. But based off of everything we've seen today, it looks concerning. So y'all watch out and have a plan now for what you're going to do whenever that warning does eventually come through. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, Ryan, really quickly, I wanted to talk about our severe warning in Louisiana as well. That includes Natchitoches and areas around there. There is a very clear way to discern that this is not a tornadic storm immediately or imminently. If we look at reflectivity, some of the values that show through on reflectivity are much higher. We look at those for hail in particular. You can diagnose hail with those really high purples and pinks there. When that hail signature extends all the way down through the hook of the storm, that to me tells me it's not surface based, which is what you need for a tornado to occur. It needs to be air rising right up from the ground, because you got air circulating at the ground when you have a tornado, right? So when there's hail all the way through the hook of the storm, to me, what that says is that air is only beginning to rise very far above the surface, which means that the storm is elevated. And we see that sort of hail signature immediately and throughout the entire updraft of the storm, because it's already colder. It's already cold enough up there to generate some hail in the updraft of the storm when the air is rising and keeping it in place. So when that entire rising part of the storm, the structure of the storm with the hook, is showing a hail returns on reflectivity, that's a nice sign to it's not 100%, but it is a good sign given the environment we have in place, that tells me that it is not posing a threat for a tornado right now.
All right. Thank you so much, meteorologist Andy Hill. And just a couple more details on that warning that does include Natchitoches and Coshada. In Louisiana, tornado or not, you can expect 60-mile-per-hour winds and $half size hail, and this will be hitting the I-49 corridor over here near Powhatan before too long. So the warning is going to go on for the next 22 minutes. We'll keep an eye on that for you. Additionally, we just got a new warning in Hardin County, Texas, with a tornado possible tag. That is for essentially the storm that at one point had a PDS tornado warning. Now this is, it's rotating a little bit less, but it's still capable of producing a tornado as it comes into places like Bragg, Laleville, Dyes, Kuntz, and the Big Thicket National Preserve. Y'all need to be watching out over here. It's very possible that this could wrap right back up. So definitely pay attention. And also, once again, these are severe thunderstorms. So tornado or not, we're going to have 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail at least over the next 50 minutes or so in these areas. All right, we're down to one tornado warning here. That's going to be our Liberty County, Texas tornado warning. Velocity on it still looks pretty concerning as it comes up towards Merriam and Jacobs Settlement. Hopefully everybody in those towns are in their safe spots. But yeah, this is radar indicated at the moment. There's no actual confirmation of a tornado on the ground, but it could happen very quickly. So we want you to take all the precautions. And you can see very clearly here these other areas of rotation that we're watching, just to the east of Crosby here. And then we've still got the one back here near Cloverleaf as well. Nothing is coming together imminently, but I'm really thinking that it's probably going to happen with these two before too long. Fisherman's Corner, thank you for the 20. Brandy says, thanks for always taking the time to teach. I've learned so much here, and it helps me not be scared. Don't be scared, be prepared. Thanks for tuning in. So yeah, we've got quite an expansive corridor of severe weather here. This is what our severe weather outlook looks like today. Enhanced risk of severe weather from Houston up past Beaumont, up towards Lufkin and Jasper. So the storms are pretty much like right in this corridor right now. So our big area to watch over the next few hours is going to be places like Liberty, Bevel Oaks, Newton, Beaumont, Kirbyville, and of course areas just east of Houston like Baytown and Beach City. So y'all be watching out. And the severe weather is going to continue even outside of the orange zone. I'd be watching out in Alexandria tonight and Monroe. And guess what? It doesn't stop there. We're also going to be tracking severe weather tomorrow. Probably won't be live tomorrow, but there's going to be some severe weather in Meridian, Jackson, Gulfport, Mobile, Pensacola. And then I just about guarantee we will be live on Saturday, where we have a very rare day 3 enhanced risk of severe weather. This will likely be a more robust event than even what we're talking about today over here for Monroe, Jackson, Alexandria, all the way up there towards Starkville, and maybe even as far east as Tuscaloosa, Alabama. As several rounds of severe weather will cause big hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes throughout the day on Saturday. I'll have a video about this tomorrow, and then once again, we'll likely be live all day Saturday covering this. It's been since May since we've had a day 3 enhanced risk. This is a pretty good indicator that we're going to have some bad weather, as folks at the Storm Prediction Center are very confident. And also, I can't remember if it was Mississippi or Alabama, but I heard earlier that this is the first day 3 enhanced risk in December, or I believe for Alabama ever. So definitely something to keep an eye on there. Let's go back to our only tornado warning right now. Once again, this is for Liberty County, Texas. Hardin Elementary School and places near that need to be in their safe spots. Catherine, thank you for that. A guy makes content, says these ain't no tornadoes, they're Grinch-nados. Yeah. The day after Christmas, and also this area, Christmas Eve, we had tornado warnings over here. So it's unfortunate. First day 3 enhanced risk since May 26th. Yep. We have lots of storm chasers out there, and we've seen one tornado today. Right now, we're in a little bit of a lull period. I don't know if we're going to see those rotation signatures pick back up, but if they do, we've got plenty of people out there chasing to give us a firsthand view of what's going on. Can you explain the intensity score? Yeah, the weather intensity score is something that we put together to help us quantify the intensity of the weather nationwide. Basically, it looks at all of the current active warnings. It looks at all of the current observations. It looks at how many storm chasers are live, how many storm reports are coming in. And it runs through an algorithm and it produces a number. The number has no cap. It just starts at 0 and goes up. Like the more intense the weather is, the higher the number. We use it here to determine whether or not we do things. You'd be bored to death if I told you all the different criteria and stuff. But basically, I just spent a long time thinking about, okay, like At what point do we need to go live? At what point do we need to make a video? At what point do we need to do this, that? And I kind of distilled it down to an algorithm. And then the weather intensity score now does all that thinking for me because I wrote it down, and you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just basically, it's a composite score that gives us an idea of how intense the weather is currently in the United States. Right now we're at a 71.94. We were up near 120 earlier. So it's a little bit lower because we don't have those active tornadoes at the moment. Wow, there's some really incredible video out there of the tornadoes. I'm retweeting them. Reed Timmer was right next to one, and then, there's a couple other amateur videos out there. Lots of videos. Thank you. We've just got one tornado warning in Texas right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another one, with one of these other storms. But right now we just got the one. I am going to go back to the Houston storm because I know we've got a lot of people watching down there. Honestly, the rotation signature at this point looks a little bit less impressive than it did earlier. So we're going to keep an eye on it. But it's this area right here that we're watching. It's this area as well. You can see how both of those, there's rotation there, but it's very broad. It's not tight enough to indicate that we've got a tornado. And then, of course, we've got these two areas as well, which have broadened out quite a bit. The good news about this storm over here near Hardin is there's a ton of storm chasers on it. So if there's a tornado, we're going to know as soon as it happens. Just like we did earlier. Can you put the clips on Blue Sky too? I can't, because the way it works is it's just whatever is posted by the storm chaser. If they're not posting it to Blue Sky, I can't. No, we just got an update. The last frame it just now got updated here. Brandon Clement's right underneath the storm. I just don't know if he's live. He might not be live. Jordan Hall is also right underneath it. So this is what it looks like from Jordan Hall's vantage point right now. We're not seeing a tornado, which is good. We would probably see one if one was down here. All right, we just got a warning for Liberty, Texas. That's going to be for this storm. Yeah, so the rotation's coming together pretty good here just to the south of Dayton, Texas. So this is the area that we're watching here. We just got a new tornado warning for the next 24 minutes for Dayton, Liberty, DeZetta, and Hardin. This is Liberty County in Texas. Right now, if there's a tornado, it's coming together near Wadley, and it's moving up towards Stilson, South Dayton, and then eventually Dayton. The town of Dayton, and honestly the town of Liberty as well, are kind of in the direct path here, so we need everybody in those towns to take shelter immediately. The rotation's coming together right now near the Seaburg Ranch Airport. As it goes towards Liberty, it'll come in on the side near the Gulf Coast High School. So if you know anybody in Dayton, Texas or Liberty, Texas, please give them an update. A new tornado warning was just issued for a separate area of rotation from the one that we were talking about earlier that involved Dayton. And this one's actually coming straight for the town of Dayton. We don't have any confirmation of a tornado down, but the radar indicates that there could be one soon. Some of the specific places in here include that Liberty Municipal Airport, Seaburg Ranch Airport, the Gum Island Airport, also Hayes Park. If you know where Hayes Park is, that's kind of in the path here. And then we got a bunch of schools like Dayton Independent, Gulf Coast, and the Hardin Chambers Education Center. If there's not a tornado currently down with this one, it could happen anytime. That was a good warning from the National Weather Service. Long time no see. Yeah, it's been a while since we've had to do a live stream here. R. Heath, always try to post your live streams to X. Yeah, so something, I don't want to say too much because I'm not sure if it's going to work, but something we're going to try to do in the future, maybe Saturday, is multi-stream. We'll be live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, X, whatever we have the ability to go live on, we will. So you can pick which one you want to do. And we might start small. We might just start with Twitch. But the goal is to eventually be everywhere so we can get the information out to as many people as possible. If you're just now tuning in, we've got 2 tornado warnings. The one that we're most interested in is the one over here near Dayton, Texas, where the rotation's ramping up right near the Seaburg Ranch Airport. And we've got a ton of storm chasers out there that are going to be able to give us visual confirmation on whether or not this is producing a tornado very soon. Also, keep your eye on this storm near Cove. Look at this. Past couple of frames. Big uptick. Right here. So wouldn't be surprising to me at some point if we saw a tornado warning for places like Devers, Texas, and Shiloh. So the storms are moving through Houston right now. Nothing severe happening in Houston. But once this line right here moves to the east of Houston, for the most part, you'll be done for the night as far as severe weather goes. So it's almost over in Houston, but it's nowhere near over in Beaumont, Lumberton, Bevel Oaks, and then even all the way up here in Louisiana, where we do still have a severe thunderstorm warning right now for Natchitoches and Red River and Sabine counties. Lots of severe thunderstorms will be possible tonight. Is it Natchitoches? I know in Texas it's Nacogdoches, and then in Louisiana it's Natchitoches. Yeah, okay. And Chandra, see if we've got any cameras over here on Interstate 49 near Natchitoches. Just in case, if that looks interesting as it crosses the road. I know we've got a lot of options right now. None? Are you sure? Okay. Shane Moore says, my friend just texted me asking if I wanted to make plans tonight, and I said no. I'm watching the Oprah Winfrey of weather. Ryan Hall. Thank you, Shane. Go ahead, Elijah.
Okay, so I-610 in Houston has been blocked by a trailer that has jackknifed. So all lanes of traffic are blocked, and this happened during the storms. So that was most likely storm related or like a hydroplane.
Okay. Thank you so much, Elijah. Keep us updated. Any report that comes in, and just let us know. Even if it's like a tree branch. Actually, you know what? If it's a tree branch that's fallen down, wait until there's 3 tree branches. And then let us know. But yeah, we've got Elijah here, news extraordinaire, and we've got Andy. Go ahead, Andy.
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, I'm looking at that storm that I previously talked about. It was looking a little weird for a while there after it passed through Cloverleaf, Texas. But sure enough, 15, 20 minutes down the line, particularly from the northern terminal radar, the international airport radar there, that one is showing me that there's actually quite a bit of rotation there near Crosby, Texas, that is currently unwarned and behind our tornado warnings. So if that continues to look like that, and we start to see it reflected on the Doppler radar as well, we could see another warning in a sequence, a line of warnings that could confuse people in place, which is where our coverage becomes one of the most important things, so we can keep you up to date exactly where everything is to be concerned about. So watching that one, seeing if it will come together any further, but I do see sort of a more pure rotation element to it from the terminal radar, which gives us a lower look into the storm, so we can see different levels and decipher what's going on at any point.
All right, thank you so much, meteorologist Andy Hill, giving us the lowdown. We're still watching all of these storms back here, even though we don't have warnings for them right now. We're still watching them. We're still keeping a close eye on them, and it's likely that we will see new warnings come out of those storms as they go over towards places, north and east of Pasadena, Deer Park, and places like that. Additionally, we continue to watch our ongoing tornado warnings here, getting awfully close to Dayton now with the one that we've been tracking the closest. The rotation's going right over town on the south side of town. Good news is we still haven't heard any reports of a tornado down. Jason is on it. Jordan and Brian, like all these guys are on it. We haven't heard anything. So it's likely not producing a tornado right now, but that could change very quickly. That's why we want you in your safe spots. And then we've got a really strong storm coming into Kuntz, Texas as well. 60-mile-per-hour winds are going to be moving in momentarily. Stephen McElroy's up there. So, that's what's going on. I would say that our next warnings are likely going to start popping up around these storms down here. And those are the ones that we'll have to continue to watch for you guys in places like Beaumont and Port Arthur as well. Yeah, lots of really good footage of the tornado. We're down to one tornado warning at this moment. And it's the one, this is the storm that you can see there through Jason's camera. He's got something he's showing us. I'm guessing this is the rotating part of the base of the storm, but we don't have anything making contact with the ground, which is good news. But this is our ongoing tornado warning right now. It's got 15 minutes left on it. It remains in effect until 5 p.m. Central for Liberty County. It's a severe thunderstorm, producing strong winds by itself, but also capable of producing a tornado near Dayton, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. It'll be over there near Dayton Lakes around 4:45. So basically right now. Go ahead, Andy.
Thanks, Ryan. Another thing I have my eye on before it becomes very evident is the storm that's closer to Pasadena now. That has that clear inflow to the south of it. There's a couple of things of concern with that storm. All of the mess, heavy rain blobbiness to its north may incite a stronger rear flank downdraft to it, which is that back part that forms the hook of a supercell. If we see that happen and that hook reaches out into that clear inflow, that storm could pose a real issue. It also has another very interesting thing to note with it is the lightning activity. There is a bunch of clear air lightning that's all popping out the southern side of the storm, all in that clear air. So where it's not raining, there's a bunch of lightning strikes probably hitting the ground around the Deer Park and into Channel View in Texas there. So I'm a little concerned about the danger of lightning because that can be a dangerous part of the storm, something to pay note to, especially with trends. If we see the bulk of the lightning is somehow outside of the heaviest rain, it is something to watch for. So please be sure if you're in these areas to be thinking about lightning safety as well, staying indoors and away from trees. And things like that. So another thing just to be thinking of before this thing becomes a bigger problem, if it does start to follow that pattern of becoming tornadic with all that clear air flowing into it, all that clean inflow. So we'll be watching that one.
Thank you, Andy. And look at this. There's at least one strike all the way down here near LaPorte. So yeah, that's way out there in the middle of nowhere. Honestly, there's probably, you could be outside and not even realize that there's a nearby storm if you weren't paying attention until that happened, you know? So yeah, even right here, just to the east of Pasadena, some lightning strikes. So a lot of lightning happening outside of the, the core of the storm. This is where all the hail and the rain and, the storm is. So yeah, really, really interesting stuff there. Also a sign that just generally the storm is, intensifying. Lots of warm, moist air screaming up into the storm. And like Andy said, this is kind of the, another example of a perfect setup for a storm to take advantage of the environment. We're going to be watching this part right here as it moves up towards Baytown. So yeah, we're watching that one. We probably also will need to watch a couple of these storms as they move into that air mass as well. And we will continue to watch these storms right here. Sorry, let me show you that better. Right in here. As they continue to look really interesting as well. And they're moving into some favorable, some more favorable environment. All right. There's a lot of lightning out there. Christy says, Ryan, the Santa Tracker was awesome. Thank you. We put a lot of work into it. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
A new tornado warning
Here we go.
has been issued.
A new tornado warning was just issued for Tyler and Hardin counties in Texas. This one's a little bit farther north. This is right over the Big Thicket National Preserve. Little bit of a radar hole here, but you can see that we've got a lot of rotation generally in the storm. Could be presenting near the surface as well as it approaches places like Smart School. And of course, the George Store Road near Village Mills. Take shelter now if you're out here in Hardin or Tyler, Texas. Any of those counties. Giving you a more broad look at everything that's going on. This is what the radar looks like right now for the whole country. We've got storms down here near Houston, obviously. These are our tornado warnings right here. And then we've got strong storms going all the way up into portions of Louisiana.
A new severe thunderstorm watch has been issued.
So we will be with you until the storms are done. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the best place to sit this so we can see everything. Thank you for the coverage. The storm happening in Houston. I live there, and it's good to know. Yeah, the good news is for downtown Houston, the storms are just about to be over. And I would have gone live sooner, before the storms even got to Houston, but they just weren't really showing any signs of anything significant until right after they got on the eastern side of Houston, and that's when everything started to pop off. That's when our weather intensity score started going up, and we knew it was time to go live. So. Yeah, the amount of lightning in these storms is actually kind of absurd. And yeah, the severe threat is going to continue for quite some time, actually, all the way through the night. I think that the supercellular like tornado threat that we're dealing with right now is probably going to come to an end within the next 2 or 3 hours, for the most part. But there's a chance that we have the potential for QLCS and embedded supercell kind of tornadoes well into the night and well into Louisiana, especially the farther south you go in Louisiana. So make sure you guys are prepared for that. The Weather Nerd, thank you for being here for 43 months. That's nuts. Thank you. Go ahead, Elijah.
Hey, Ryan, so I do have the first branch down report, but also we have 6 trees downed across Liberty and Hardin County. There is not many reports coming out because thankfully that PDS tornado warning we had earlier occurred mostly in a field. From what I can tell, it probably took down a single tree and then kind of dissipated out in the middle of a field. So that may even be rated like an EF0 eventually, or some very low level because it was a tree damage only. I don't know yet. It could have done potentially more, but based on the live videos that we had of it for most of its entire lifetime, it did not hit anything. It did not hit any structures, thankfully. And then we also had a barn that got damaged from the tornado really earlier in the day, a couple hours ago. But besides that, I do not have any other damage reports at all.
All right. Thank you so much, Elijah. So damage reports are coming in. Thankfully, so far, nothing crazy. And that's always good. Spencer says, I'm in Kuntz now. So the tornado warning is just to the north of y'all. However, you're still going to get hit by a strong storm here. So make sure if you're not sheltered, just go ahead and get there. Very strong winds coming in on the southern side of that rotation. The warning that we're kind of focused in on right now is for south central Tyler County in Texas and northeastern Hardin County in southeastern Texas until 5:15 Central. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Village Mills, and it's moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. It's radar indicated, and it's going to be, moving over mainly rural areas for the foreseeable future. If the storm continues to move in
A
this
new
direction.
tornado
It might
warning has been
make it up
issued.
there towards Kirbyville, so y'all should be paying attention here. All right, there's a new tornado warning. This one's also for Liberty County, Texas. It's for the storm that we've been watching here near Hardin. They just went ahead and issued a new warning for that. It still includes Hardin, Sand Dune, Fringe Settlement, Tanner Settlement, and Ducat Settlement. You guys need to be taking shelter if you haven't already. The rotation actually looks a lot better now. So, somewhat concerning for the folks of Hardin, Texas. New tornado warning. This one is going to go on until 5:15 Central as well. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Hardin or near Liberty, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. And just a reminder, if you don't know what to do, if you are under a tornado warning today, we want you to get to a basement or an interior room or a storm cellar. If you don't have those, you want to get into the lowest floor of a sturdy building. You want to avoid windows. And if you're outdoors, it's essentially the same thing as being in a mobile home or vehicle or something like that. You want to move yourself to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. A mobile home is the last place you want to be in a tornado warning. What's the Tennessee Valley look like tomorrow? There's going to be some storms. Most of the severe weather is going to be much farther south into the deep south, in southern Mississippi, places like that. However, things look a little bit more interesting Saturday, which I think our next live stream will be Saturday. A much larger area also is going to be included in that enhanced risk. Arkansas tonight should, for the most part, be fine. As southern Arkansas is going to have a chance of seeing some severe weather. I think most of the worst weather tonight will remain in this area right here, though. So Arkansas, especially in southern Arkansas, get ready for some wind, but for the most part, it's not going to be that bad. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey Ryan, from that latest scan, the Houston Doppler radar, I think there's a good case for the storm south of the tornado warning for Hardin to be warned for areas like Raywood and Devers in Texas there. I think you pointed out that one a while ago when it was back near Cove. And I do think that at this point, with the latest scan, it could be worth a warning. So we'll see how that continues. But for now, y'all watch out for that storm in case it sends out if it does get issued, if it sends out another warning for similar areas in the county, we'll be sure to delineate where each warning is and who should be concerned for you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Andy. So yeah, we're watching this one right here. Let me move out of this. Near Moss Bluff right now and Shiloh. I would be watching out. And also for you guys over there near Abshire Settlement, Moore Settlement, and Devers. This storm is going to be entering an environment that we've seen produce tornadoes today. And it looks like it's ready to go. So just make sure you are ready to take shelter as soon as that warning is issued.
An important weather update has been issued.
Currently, we've got 2 active tornado warnings. One for Hardin and Tyler counties in Texas. That's going to expire in 14 minutes. And also in 14 minutes, we'll have the Liberty County, Texas warning expire. Both of those are likely to be replaced by new warnings before the expiration. As soon as that happens, we will let you know. That girl, Tiffany, thanks for joining. Thanks for becoming a member. Super Saiyan says, Ryan, please tell me what you think is going to happen on the North Shore of Louisiana on Saturday. I will talk about that in just a minute. Okay, Jordan Hall apparently has something here just out of view. I don't see anything. Which storm is Jordan on right now? This is the Hardin storm. So this is a live look from Jordan Hall, storm chaser out there in Liberty County, Texas, in the tornado warning near Fringe Settlement. Somebody saw something on there, but I think he turned away right at the last minute. So this is, there's a tornado warning here. So make sure you are in your safe spot in Hardin and Tanner Settlement and everywhere in between out here in Liberty County, Texas, because we might have just seen a tornado with that. And there's our new tornado warning
has been issued
for the storm that Andy just called out. So here we go. Now we've got a tornado warning for this is also Liberty County in Texas, but it's now the storm that's close to Tivit and Cow Island. Right there's your rotation. It's going to come together a little bit more intensely, I believe, on its way to Moore Settlement and Devers. Take shelter now. Yeah, I see something here also on Jason Cooley's camera. You can see a little bit of a lowering there. Not sure if we've got anything making contact with the ground, but that's our Hardin, Texas storm right now. So once again, if you haven't already, please consider sharing us on Facebook, Twitter, and all that good stuff. We've got some of the best storm chasers in the world out there giving us a live view of what's going on the ground. Meteorologist Andy Hill, and we're going to have nonstop commercial-free, free-to-access coverage through the duration of the most dangerous part of this event. We really want to make sure everybody in Devers and DayZeta knows what's going on here. Chloe, yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Most of the biggest severe weather threat area on Saturday is going to be really locked in here to eastern Louisiana and central Mississippi, western Alabama. So Nashville, for the most part, will be fine. Definitely a chance of some storms, but not as intense as what we're going to get down here. Once again, this is the severe weather outlook for Saturday. We've got a rare day 3 enhanced risk, and I'm almost certain that we will be live that day. I'll have a very in-depth video tomorrow about that. All right, so let's go through these one by one. Here's an update on the tornado warning in Hardin and Tyler counties in Texas. This is going to expire 10 minutes from now. Let's see here. This will be moving into Village Mills here soon. So take shelter. This is a pretty rural area up here near the Big Thicket National Preserve. So thankfully, not a lot in the path of that one. However, our storm that all of our chasers are on back here towards Hardin, obviously Hardin's in the path. The storm's actually over Hardin right now. So give it a couple more minutes and this will be to your east. Once it moves to your east, though, we've got to be concerned about Tanner Settlement and Hull in Texas. So if you guys are over there, please consider taking shelter. And then our other tornado warning in Liberty County in Texas is going to be impacting places such as DayZeta and Devers around 5:05 or 5:15 Central. So you want to get into the most interior room, lowest floor of a sturdy building, and protect yourselves from flying debris. Outside of that, the only other things we've got going on are a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. So there's a big storm moving into Kuntz right now and eventually Silsby with 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So you guys need to be ready for that. This is going to be moving into Hawthorne Field here soon. And this also has a tornado possible tag. So this whole storm right here could also produce another area of rotation that comes up towards Kuntz and Silsby. Right now, it's mostly just a 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind kind of thing. Our other severe thunderstorm warning takes us farther north, up here into San Augustine, Sabine, and Angelina counties in Texas. 60-mile-per-hour winds and half-dollar-sized hail with that one. Yeah, that's a very useful link. The Nightbot just posted a Find Your Tornado Shelter. Yeah, so it'll be really active in Mississippi over the next couple of days. Tomorrow there's a marginal risk, and then you've got the big enhanced on Saturday. New special weather statement there for Chambers, Liberty, and Harris counties in Texas. That actually is for this storm here that's just to the east of Houston. Pea-sized hail and wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour are going to be possible here over the next 36 minutes for places like Cove and Old River Winfrey. Additionally, this is another storm that we're watching that could potentially at some point try to produce a tornado. Right now, it's not really there yet, but we're watching it. What's up, Alex? Are you going live Saturday or tomorrow? And which day is the enhanced risk? So tomorrow we've got a marginal risk. We probably won't be live tomorrow. Saturday is where we've got the enhanced risk, and that's where I'm thinking our next live stream will be. Who knows what can happen though? Like, things change all the time. Just make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. A guy makes content, says, Ryan, I love the Supercell shirt. I'm glad you like it. We worked hard on it. Ryan, do you and Max Velocity work together? We're friends, and he helps, as far as working together goes, he helps us raise money for the Y'all Squad, our nonprofit, whenever we, have a big thing that we want to help people with. Yeah, we're just waiting on updates now. Honestly, as far as what's going on, we're waiting on. I'm really interesting. I'm interested to see what happens with this storm that's moving over towards Cove. It looks pretty ominous to me, but we've seen a couple storms that maybe had a certain look to them today and they didn't materialize. So I'm hoping that's what happens there. As far as our ongoing warnings right now, things are calming down a little bit with the rotations that we're seeing in those. We still have a concerning storm moving into Dayzetta, Texas. So hopefully you guys are in your safe spot. Same thing for you guys up there near Fred, Texas. But yeah, so things are right at this very moment are kind of calming down just a little bit. But we'll see ebbs and flows. Go ahead, Elijah.
Hey Ryan, so this was a delayed report, but 15 minutes ago, a tornado occurred south of Valley Mills, Texas, or Village Mills, Texas. That was from a storm chaser. I don't know if they were in bad cell reception or not, but they just posted on Twitter and pinging the National Weather Service, saying it was about 15 minutes ago.
Okay. Thank you so much, Elijah, for the update there. So we have had multiple tornadoes today. A couple of those were before the stream started. A couple of them happened right as we started the stream, and we continue to have them. Thankfully, no major damage reports yet. Looky here, Stephanie, the weather wife, chiming in with her 46-month member update. 46 months. That's how long I've been doing this. The boys are winding down for bedtime and wanted to tell you good night. And they love you. Otto has said dada every time he's seen you on screen today. I don't know if they're still watching. But, yeah. Hold on. She also texted me, so I'm trying to read that too at the same time. Yeah, sorry I couldn't be there to help. I know it's tough. Guys, we had a crazy Christmas. We had all kinds of family over. We've got boxes everywhere, things, food. Today was supposed to be the day that we cleaned up together, but Steph has taken it all on herself to allow me to be here to do the weather today. So huge shout out to Stephanie, the wonderful mother and weather wife over there. What is that? I don't know. What is that, Chandra? What am I saying? Yeah, Weather Wife is a real MVP. No tornado counter. No. That maybe one day we'll implement something like that, but we don't have anything like that right now. If you're asking about how many warnings there's currently one tornado warning. Charlie Shepard, thanks for joining. What's the winter forecast? It's going to be cold. No, we're about to get into some pretty good winter stuff here soon. Go ahead, Andy.
Thanks, Ryan. But for now, the winter is a near-term tornado threat because I also have my eye on that storm near Cove, Texas, and more, the trend that's been taking on is that it's catching up to the inflow. Previously, it was a part of that globby mess and outflow dominant. So all the winds out ahead of it were pushing out, not allowing any air to kind of get into the supercell at the base of that updraft where it would create a tornado. However, over the last few velocity scans, I've been noting that the storm itself has that sort of backing to it. It's being nudged forward a little bit by the cell behind it, and it could be establishing a well-defined hook echo here that would catch up to the inflow and allow a clean establishment of winds flowing into the storm, in which we would be concerned about it. Not only that, but it has that look to it. Besides having an actual protruding hook, the rest of it has a look to it for sure. The differential reflectivity arc to it looks pretty stunning, and it has blown up recently on infrared satellite, which lets us look at the tops of the clouds, how tall they are based on how cold they are. So how far up into the atmosphere they're extending. And besides that, once again, I'll go back to my indicator that I used at the start of the stream, which is the lightning activity is it's up there. I've looked at a lot of lightning dense storms, and this one is exhibit. There is just a lot of lightning. So if someone's driving on the interstate there, and every few seconds they're seeing a bolt come down in front of them from that storm, I wouldn't be surprised. It is ridiculous on the lightning scale. So lots of things to look out for the regarding this storm, and I'm not happy with it because it's going to be in an environment favorable for tornadoes for quite some time, and it looks like it's trying to be alone while it does that, which is one of the most concerning things we look out for. So we'll watch how this evolves for you guys, and hopefully nothing comes of it. But I would not be surprised if it does if it does become bad. In fact, it might even be very close to producing a tornado right now. And in order to look at that, you should also look at the tilts that go up a little further in the storm, Ryan, so you could see the velocity nicely. So let's watch what happens here and let people know ahead of time.
Absolutely. Thank you, meteorologist Andy Hill, for drawing our attention down here to the storm that really looks quite concerning now, both on velocity and reflectivity. We've got a big convergence signature here near Eldon and Mont Bellevue in right along Interstate 10 there, moving over towards Old River, Winfrey, and Cove. Reflectivity, I mean, this is just, I can't tell you how many storms we've seen look like this and then go on to produce a big tornado. So not saying that for sure that that's going to happen, but if I lived in Cove, for example, or Wallaceville, Texas, or anywhere in between here along Interstate 10, all the way over towards Hankomer, I would definitely be watching out and getting everything ready to potentially take shelter here soon. They just issued a severe thunderstorm warning for that storm with a tornado possible tag. So they're seeing the same things. All right. The storm's coming together. It looks primed, but it's not producing a tornado at the moment. So we're going to continue to watch this one extremely closely as it goes over a fairly populated area. And also, once again, we got to remember it's the day after Christmas. We've got a lot of people on Interstate 10 here who may be completely unaware of the severity of the situation. I can personally tell that a lot of people probably aren't paying attention to this setup today because people have got a lot going on, right? It's the day after Christmas. It's been a while since people have had, big severe weather outbreaks on their mind. You can just tell, you can feel it that people aren't, as tuned in as they usually are. So just if you know anybody in this general vicinity, give them a heads up. Something could be coming together here that could be dangerous near Cove. And once again, in places like Chambers and Liberty and Harris counties in Texas. So the severe thunderstorm warning is going to go on until 5:45 Eastern. 60-mile-per-hour winds, 3/4-inch hail is going to be possible there. And then remember, it's got that tornado possible tag on it, meaning that it is capable of producing a tornado. And also, this area is under a tornado watch until 7 p.m. Central for all of southeastern Texas. So for now, for your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building, and then be prepared to take further measures if a tornado warning is issued, which is very possible. Go ahead, Elijah.
Hey Ryan, so I do unfortunately have some structural damage that has been reported in Liberty County. Several large trees were uh, completely uprooted, some downed, snapped even. One fell on a trailer home. Thankfully, does not sound like any injuries occurred in that trailer home, but it's likely tornado damage. We don't know for sure though. We'll have to wait for the National Weather Service to survey it and confirm that.
All right. Thank you, Elijah. Keep us updated. Yeah, the storm near Cove looks really concerning. We're keeping a very close eye on it here. Andy just talked about it extensively, and we're watching it. So is the National Weather Service. Pursue says, I live in Baytown and I work alongside Interstate 10. The lightning is terrible. We've had bolts strike our work and we're getting one every 3 seconds. Yeah, the lightning is off the chain. Lots of lightning. Tons. It's glitching out the system, actually. Lelo, thank you so much for that. Appreciate it.
A new severe thunderstorm watch has been issued.
What's the weather intensity score? Man, we need a resource that explains that. To put it like very simply, it's literally just a number that the higher it is, the more intense the weather is right now across the United States. So like if you just glance at it, 57, what does that mean? Well, what it means is if it's 60 5 minutes from now, then the weather is more intense than it was. Does that make sense? Like it's not a scale. There's no top end. There's no a low end. It's a composite parameter that tells us the intensity of the weather in the United States right now. We use it internally here for a lot of different things. And I just thought it was an interesting piece of information to add to the streams. At some point, I'll make it easier to understand so that you can use it. Like we'll have a Nightbot message going on in chat or something. But for now, it's simply that I'll share the algorithm and all that good stuff at some point. Lightning that close together must be making continuous thunder. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it sounds very ominous out there. By the way, if you guys can do so safely and you want to, you can always send me pictures and videos over there on X, Twitter, at Ryan Hall, y'all. It's just the easiest place to do that kind of thing. Another thing that we're going to be doing here, like I've already coded everything. It's all ready to go. But we're going to have a website for you guys to go to, like, y'all.com or whatever, to where you can upload your photos and videos there, and then I can show them, and you don't have to go to Twitter or some social media site. It'll be just direct to us. That will definitely be done before the spring severe weather season. It might be helpful to have references to particular days and outbreaks. Yeah, so that is true. So we just started running the weather intensity score a couple months ago. So I think right around Hurricane Helene was the first time we tested it. And we've changed it some. Right now, the algorithm is locked into where I think it's going to be. So we'll start keeping track now of, the next time we have a large weather event, we'll be able to be like, okay, back in the Mayfield tornado, that was a 200 on the weather intensity score. You know what I mean? We don't have that information now, but we're logging it. Just to kind of put it into perspective. Blue Steel, thank you so much. Says, I got a Y'all-o-meter and an Ask Me About the Weather Y'all shirt for Christmas. And I love the Santa Tracker too. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. And I'm glad you like the stuff. Yeah, the Santa Tracker was grossly over-engineered, but it was super fun to make. Yeah, April 27th, 2011. Like, honestly, I theoretically could go back and, I mean, all that data is saved and archived, right? I could go back and run an event like that through our algorithm and see what the weather intensity score would have been. That might be, that might be something to do to kind of help us make a scale. Northern AP, we've had a few tornadoes today. Nothing big, and thankfully nothing incredibly damaging. We have had some damage reports, but so far so good. We're just now waiting on some updates on these storms to see if anything else is going to happen. I'm here in a minute. I'm going to go through and go over all of our current warnings and what's happening. But at this very moment, we don't have any tornado warnings. We've got a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings and flash flood warnings. We're really watching the severe thunderstorm warning in Liberty, Harris, and Chambers counties in Texas. That's our most likely storm to try to produce a tornado in the near future. Right now, it's not doing it, so we're just waiting. We're watching and waiting. What the heck happened on this screen? What is different here? We're missing the thing. Why can't I talk? Where is the thing? Yeah, we need that here. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Sweet. All right, we just got a new severe thunderstorm warning. Let's go check it out. Oh, let me refresh this real quick. Oh my gosh. This one includes Kirbyville. So this is what we were talking about earlier. Rotation on this has calmed down a little bit. It's still something to watch out for, though. The main thing right now, though, is we've got 60-mile-per-hour winds moving into Kirbyville and Newton. So get ready for that. This is going to go on for the next hour or so. Eastern Taylor County, Jasper County, Newton County. This is going to go on until 6:30 p.m. Central. Speaking of yallometers, it's snowing up there in Oshkosh, Bagosh. Couple inches, couple yalls, or about a yawl of snow right now. We've still yet to have a major winter storm coverage event. I'm holding out hope that we'll have a couple of those in January or February or March, because a lot of you guys have yallometers and we just haven't been able to use them yet. It's coming. Right now, there's a bunch of storm chasers out there. We've got 3 of them up on the screen: Jordan Hall, Jason, and Nathan Moore. But there's more than that out there.
A new tornado
don't have
watch
them
has
pulled
been
up right now.
issued.
Ryan, you should have covered the snow in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York. I was thinking about that. Right now, the way that we determine whether or not we go live for a snowstorm it has more to do with like coverage, like how much area is covered by the by the big time snow. And that's probably not a smart way to go about it when you're dealing with lake effect snow events. So we might rethink that. Because there was definitely a lot going on there. There was a lot that we could have reported on. The main thing whenever we do our winter weather coverage, and it's been a couple years since we've done a proper one, but you can go back and look from 2021, 2022. The main thing we do is relay road conditions. And like, there's only so many roads impacted, like very small portions of a few roads impacted by a lake effect snow event. You know what I mean? And it's just like, hey, it's bad. But whenever you have those big systems where it's snowing from daggone Missouri to Illinois to Ohio and then all the way over there to New York, that's where it gets a little bit more interesting and where our coverage becomes useful during a winter weather event. And usually we get a few of those every year. So we're due. Do you use real-time lightning tracker? Yeah, if you're talking about on the radar, it's real-time, as real-time as possible. And then we have our real-time lightning tracker here at the Weather House built into our Tempest weather system. The ones that we sell over on our website, where we sell the Yalla meters. Lots of flash flood warnings starting to come out now. Update on the severe thunderstorm warning down here for Chambers, Liberty, and Harris counties in Texas. This storm, honestly, looks a lot less tornadic now, but there's a new area of concern. Originally, it was up here. Now, we've got to kind of watch this part of the storm here, but still, it's a strong storm capable of at some point producing a tornado. It's moving over Interstate 10, bringing about some small hail and some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts near Cove, moving east towards Wallaceville and Hancomer, Texas. And then our other severe thunderstorm warning continues for Newton, Jasper, and Tyler counties in Texas, Kirbyville, and Newton. You guys are getting plumb walloped by 60-mile-per-hour winds and 3/4-inch hail right now. It's going to continue for probably the next 51 minutes or so. Nathan's got a good view of the lightning out there on the storm just to the north of that. Penny says, Ryan, hopefully we'll get a big snowstorm in January. Oh, yeah. Shut your pie hole. Yeah, I know. Not everybody likes snow. I get it. I love it. I'm biased, though, Denny says, Ryan, did you teach yourself how to code using AI or online sources, or did you take a course to learn? So I'm still a very novice. I wouldn't call myself an expert at all, but I did teach myself using AI, and I'll tell you how I did it. I had an idea for something that I wanted to do, and I tried to do it and it just didn't work, and it didn't work, and it didn't work. And then eventually it did. And then whenever it broke again, I had to figure out why it worked in the first place. And essentially we've got about 7 months of just like brute forcing, trying to build these apps, and then, them breaking, and then going back and actually having to try to figure out how to fix them, and then learning along the way. And so, yeah, it's been about 7 months. No courses or anything. It's literally just start a project and learn as you go. Like the end result is like, we're going to have these apps, and we're going to do, whatever it takes to get there. And unfortunately, one of the things that it takes is learning how to code. Like I personally don't want to learn. It's something that, you have to do to make the things happen. It's like, I would love to not have to learn how to play the guitar to write songs. You know what I mean? But you do. Like, you have to. If there was a way to do it without it, I would. If you're just now tuning in, we've got 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. We've got no tornado warnings at the moment. Weather intensity score is at 61. We were way up there near 120 earlier, so things have calmed down a little bit. We're watching these storms as they move into more extreme southeastern Texas and now into western portions and southwestern portions of Louisiana to see if there's going to be another uptick. And if not, at some point here, we'll call it a night and we will be back on Saturday. But we're going to stick around a little while longer to keep an eye on these. Here's a new severe thunderstorm warning. This one's for Chambers, Jefferson, and Liberty counties in Texas. "60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and very small hail. Expect damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Some places in the path here include the Old River, Winfrey area, Devers, Wallaceville, and Hankomer. The Boyd pre-kindergarten schools in the path, and so is Devers Elementary. What's the green blip up there in Utah? That's a general thunderstorms risk. So yeah, with our new system that we've got now that we were talking about in the members only stream earlier, I think in 2025 we're going to be going live more often. We've got a new set of criteria that we follow now to determine like whether or not we go live. So in 2024 we went live 30 times, and if in 2025 there is as active of weather, and you remember, like, we had a very active tornado season, we had a very active hurricane season. So, if next year we don't have activity at the same levels, like, it might not work out. But if it's equally as active next year, I suspect that we will go live 45 to maybe even 50 times. So we're increasing our live streams by essentially 50%. And for those of you who don't know, which I'm sure a lot of you do, there's been over 1 million tune in. But the Y'allbot, the 24/7 live stream on the Extra channel has been live now for well over a month. And we don't plan on ever going offline. So even whenever this stream ends, you'll be able to see the new tornado warnings or new severe thunderstorm warnings the moment they come in. It's basically like watching this stream, but it's a robot talking instead of me. So, anytime you want to check in, anytime you're like, oh, I wonder if Ryan's live, and I'm not, go check in on that channel, because it's likely talking about whatever it is that you're looking for. But also, hopefully, anytime you think, oh, I wonder if Ryan's live, we are actually going to be live in the future because we're increasing how often we go live. Yeah, the 24/7 stream has also been an incredible amount of work. You're talking about thousands and thousands of hours of, learning. First of all, like you got it 7 months ago, nobody here knew anything about AI or coding or anything. And now we have that, you know what I mean? So like it's what we've been focused on for a really long time. And it's honestly a really valuable resource. And it'll always be free. New special weather statement up here for Hardin and Jasper counties in Texas. That's going to be for 50-mile-per-hour winds coming into Silsbee. It's going to go on for 26 minutes. Got another one up there for DeSoto, Red River counties or parishes in Louisiana, and then Shelby and Panola counties in Texas for 40-mile-per-hour winds. Harbin says you should get the Y'allbot to do your voice, Ryan. Yeah, maybe. It's not good enough yet. I prefer the Y'allbot to be a robot. Like we're not trying to hide anything. We're not trying to fool you. Like it is a bot, And whenever you start making it use like my voice and stuff like that, to me it just seems kind of weird. But I'll show you what it would sound like. And obviously we could train it to make it better.
Life is a progress and not a station.
See what I mean? Like
Life is a progress and not a station.
It's like, well, let me copy and paste this. Here we go.
The National Weather Service in League City has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Chambers County in southeastern Texas, southeastern Liberty County in southeastern Texas.
Yeah, so that's me. That's my voice, generated with AI. We could train it more and make it better, but I'm just not interested, man. I think it's a good idea to make Y'allbot a separate. It's not me. You know what I mean? And honestly, it does sound a lot like me, but without the little bit of an accent that I do have from being from Eastern Kentucky. It strips that away and makes it sound a little weird. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey Ryan, very interesting storm, probably right on the warm front or just north of it, able to tap into some unstable air near the surface, right on the Texas-Louisiana state line there. It's headed up to Zwoli. I forget how to pronounce that one in particular, but the Noble and Zwoli area there. That one has a couplet on velocity, and it is a sort of a transient couplet, but it does look sort of tornadic. So there is no warning on that right now. Be curious to see if it sticks around at all, if it will get warned because of its appearance there on velocity. I do think that is worth a y'all watch out and a sharp eye there, thanks to analyst Jason in the server. So definitely a close eye being kept on that one now. I think it's a little far north, but we'll see if it manages to drill through maybe a bit more of a stable layer closer to the surface.
Okay, thank you very much, meteorologist Andy Hill, drawing our attention up here to the Texas-Louisiana border near the Toledo Bend Reservoir and the Ammons Airport, where it does look like we've got a little bit of rotation here trying to come together as it moves up towards Zwol, I believe. Yeah, we do have a special, we just got a severe thunderstorm warning for that with a tornado possible tag. So that's what that is right there. Let me switch to that. Yep. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and $50 size hail coming into Zwol, Noble, and Pleasant Hill now in Louisiana. And also, this is very capable of maybe at some point trying to produce a tornado. You can see the rotation right in here, right over top of the Ammons Airport, moving northeast. Some other places that need to be concerned about this one include the Marthaville Elementary area. And if you know where the Red State Historic Site is, or the Los Adays State Historic Site, those are in the direct path here, including Many, Noble, and Pleasant Hill. So, get to a substantial shelter if you can. Also, this area is under a tornado watch until 7 p.m. Central. And this is for all of, northwest Louisiana and parts of northeast Texas. Tornado possible, radar indicated. This one's actually a more severe thunderstorm, too, than our other radar indicated tornado possible severe thunderstorm warnings that we had to the south earlier, as this one's carrying about 1.5 inch in diameter hail, along with the potential to produce 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and the tornado. So, yeah, make sure you are getting to your shelter, and then also go ahead and prepare to maybe take further action if a tornado warning is issued.
A new tornado warning has been
Is that
issued.
it? Yep. So now we've got it. We've got a tornado warning. And this is the exact one that Andy called out a while ago. And now here it is officially, a tornado warning for Sabine and Natchitoches parishes in Louisiana. This includes basically all of the same towns and places that I just called out for the severe thunderstorm warning. It's just a little bit of a smaller polygon inside of that now. The next areas that will be impacted include the Sabine Wildlife Management Area, Loring, and Zwol. Need everybody in Zwol to take shelter immediately. Next in line would probably be that Belmont Union Christian Academy School. And Robeline, you guys need to be watching out as well. Flying debris is going to be pretty dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed, and damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. If you're in Robeline, Belmont, or Marthaville, take shelter immediately. Get indoors and away from windows. Get to the lowest floor of a well-built structure and away from all of the windows. If you're in a mobile home or vehicle, move out of that and into the closest substantial shelter. Heavy rainfall is hiding this tornado. It's rain wrapped. You're not going to be able to see it. Do not wait until you can see it or you think you can hear it before you take shelter, because it's not going to happen. Just go ahead and get there now. Once again, if you know anybody in Sabine or Natchitoches parishes in Louisiana, let them know. This is our only tornado warning right now, so that's kind of why we're a little bit zoomed in and focused on it. Rain-wrapped nocturnal tornadoes are the most dangerous kinds. So we really need everybody to be aware in Zwol. No, Instro, I'm looking. Is it Zawali? Okay, got it. Zawali. So we are, if you're just now tuning in, we are tracking a very dangerous storm near Zawali right now. It was last spotted about 6 miles southwest of Zawali on radar, and it's moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. That's a really fast-moving storm. So add that onto the list of reasons why this is dangerous. It's dark outside, it's rain-wrapped, and it's zipping by 55 miles per hour. If you're in Zawali, Pleasant Hill, Robeline, Belmont, or Marthaville, you should probably take shelter immediately if you haven't already. Storm's heading your way. Heavy rain, once again, is making this nearly impossible to see. Don't even try to look for it. And don't wait to spot the funnel cloud. If you're in the warning area, take cover now. We've also got a severe thunderstorm warning a little bit farther to the south. Let me give you an update on this. This severe thunderstorm warning is going to last for the next 30 minutes down here for portions of Newton, Jasper, and Tyler counties in Texas. This one's moving east or northeast at 35 miles per hour. If you're in Call, Newton, Jamestown, Farsville, Roganville, Bleakwood, Magnolia Springs, Mount Union, Stringtown, or Kirbyville, you need to be weather aware and ready to take shelter because this one also has one of those tornado possible tags on it. It's likely not, going to produce a tornado at this point. However, it still is somewhat possible, and it's a strong storm, so take shelter. 60 mile per hour winds. That's strong enough to break apart large tree branches, damage roofs, and throw around loose outdoor items. So keep that in mind. Especially if you're a little bit farther to the east, Maryville, Bonwire. You guys aren't necessarily in the warning there, but it'll be getting to you soon. And then back up here to our tornado warning, just a reminder for those of you in mobile homes or vehicles, it's not safe to be there to ride out the storm. Definitely don't use an overpass or anything like that. You got to get to a more substantial building immediately. A mobile home cannot protect you from tornado force winds. It's actually worse to be in a mobile home than outside of one a lot of times. So just keep that in mind. Move to a substantial shelter. The tornado warning is going to keep going until 6:30 p.m. Central. That's basically all the information that we have right now until we get another radar update in here. Rotation does continue to look pretty impressive. I'm getting reports that apparently a lot of Zawali is mobile home parks. So, once again, if you know anybody out here, just give them a ring. You could literally save somebody's life if this ends up being a tornado on the ground that goes through a trailer park. It could be a really bad day after Christmas for those people. And the best thing we can do is let them know before it gets there so they know to move to a more substantial shelter. Panic says, I personally think you say words good. Thank you, Panic. It's a good compliment. I appreciate that. It's been a minute since we've, updated you on this severe thunderstorm warning down here. So I'm going to do that now as we await the next couple of frames. Severe thunderstorm warning for Chambers, Jefferson, and Liberty counties in Texas. This is going to be allowed to expire 27 minutes from now. And in the meantime, if you're in Liberty, Old River, Winfrey, Devers, Wallsville, or Hancomer, This storm is headed in your direction, or it's already there now, and you should take shelter. The main threat here is going to be 60-mile-per-hour winds, and that can be enough to actually tear off siding, damage roofs, and snap tree limbs, making being outside at all pretty dangerous. It's going to go on until 6:30 Central. Keep your phone charged and weather alerts turned on. We'll let you know if things get worse. Main thing right now is going to be the tornado warning. Moving into the greater Zawali and Loring area now. Will Y'allbot be on Twitch? You know what? Yeah, why not? Yeah, we'll put the 24/7. Like, the way it works is we can stream to one input. Like, we're still just pushing one stream. And then we have a service split that up into all the other streams. So, like, honestly, we can put it wherever we'll accept a live stream, you know? I think in 2025, we're really going to push into multi-streaming and just trying to make all the data more free and available to everybody in easier ways. Hey, bulls. And also for those of you who might just be tuning in, a general overview of what we're looking at here. Let me show you once again the latest Storm Prediction Center graphic. We still got an enhanced risk of severe weather. We're just about, honestly, our storms are just about to squeeze out of that. So we're probably almost to the part of this event where things start winding down a little bit. But the some of our storms are still right there in the enhanced risk area where we have the best conditions for severe weather. So we're going to stay live until those storms exit that region. Or until, of course, we don't have any tornado warnings like this that we've got to keep an eye on. So what's going on here with the overall risk area is a dangerous severe weather outbreak is unfolding right now in Texas and portions of Louisiana. There is still a chance that some of these storms through the rest of the evening produce a strong tornado, some potentially reaching EF2 strength or greater, especially in southeast Texas. Now, right now, the only warning that we have is up here in Louisiana. But if one of these storms can get their act together as they approach Beaumont, Port Arthur, maybe even, a little bit farther south towards that area, that's where some slightly more favorable conditions exist for tornado genesis. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but that is something that we're watching out for. The severe weather threat is going to spread eastward through the evening, impacting Shreveport, Tyler, Longview, Sugar Land, and all those areas are under a slight risk, not the enhanced risk, but that still could bring about some linear tornadoes, linear mode tornadoes later, and straight line damaging winds. And some of those winds could be 70 mile per hour or greater. And I believe we just got a new tornado watch, if I'm not mistaken. This is going to be valid until 2 a.m. Central. and this is interesting. A couple strong tornadoes possible. So new tornado watch until 2 a.m. Central. This includes Port Arthur. This includes DeQuincy, Alexandria, Ville Platte, and all these places. 1 million people under the gun now for continued severe weather. As soon as the text for that comes out, I'll give you some more details, but that's what we're dealing with right now. So the storms that I'm talking about down there that are coming into Beaumont right now, and that'll eventually be moving into Port Arthur, they're going to continue to be capable of producing strong tornadoes, even as far east as Alexandria later. Eunice, Jenna, Natchitoches, Lake Charles. So we're going to be watching those areas with you for the next little bit. Oh, did I pronounce Eunice correctly? Well, good. Well, good. Gosh. It's weird that the NWS tornado graphic came out on Twitter before it's on like the SPC website. All right. By the way, we did get a new severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. That's going to be down here for Jefferson County, Texas. Oof. Hold on. Okay, so yeah, we've got a severe thunderstorm near Nome right now down here. If you're in Farnett, Beaumont, Nome, China,
a new tornado watch has been issued.
Oaks, this storm's headed your way, and it's going to be at your location within the next hour or so. 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-sized hail. This can damage roofs and tear off siding and all that good stuff. This is especially critical because this area is actually now under 2 tornado watches until 7 p.m. And then the one that was just issued that goes until 2 a.m., you're also under that one. Conditions are very, very favorable for rapid tornado development. And that's why they've got that tornado possible tag on this. So Beaumont, Texas, you are under that tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning. This warning is going to go until 7 p.m. Central. Stay weather aware even after it expires. If you do happen to see a tornado or, have any severe weather happening at your location, feel free to report that to the National Weather Service if you can do so safely. Yeah, I've been brushing up on my southern pronunciations. I say that, and now I'm just going to start butchering everything again. Okay, we've got some more details now on the tornado watch. Okay, so For those of you who are just now tuning in, we did just recently get a new tornado watch issued, and I'm going to tell you about that now. A new tornado watch has just been issued for western and central Louisiana and far southeast Texas, and this is going to go until 2 a.m. Central. Storm Prediction Center is concerned about strong tornadoes, so it's not very often that we see them use that wording in the watch. So it's interesting that they did. Doesn't mean really anything that we don't already know, but Storm Prediction Center is concerned. The threat level is moderate for tornadoes, including the possibility of intense, long-track tornadoes rated EF2 or stronger. This is a situation that really demands your immediate attention and preparation. The watch zone runs through northeast of Natchitoches and southwest of Lake Charles, and it extends about 45 miles on either side of that line. If you're in that area, you need to have multiple ways of receiving warnings tonight. So the big things that we're going to be looking for tonight are hail up to 1.5 inches in diameter, wind gusts of maybe up to 65 miles per hour or greater, multiple tornadoes with a couple potentially being strong, intense, and long-lasting. These storms are moving northeast with an average speed of around 40 miles per hour. This movement means that conditions can rapidly change. So, it's one of those things where sometimes we have a storm system that produces a bunch of tornadoes and they're very photogenic and it's very easy to see where they're going, like the trajectory. Some of them are just easy. Tonight's not going to be easy. You're not going to be able to tell where it's going. You're not going to see or hear it until it's right on you, and that makes it really dangerous. If you're not familiar, a tornado watch means that conditions are favorable for tornado development. Doesn't mean that there's a tornado going on right now. If you get a tornado warning, that's what that means. So yeah. Go ahead, Elijah.
Hey Ryan, so there was a tornado that was on the ground in that tornado warning. You can go back a few scans and see the CC drop from it. I do not think it is on the ground now.
Okay, thank you so much, Elijah. So the warning that we've been talking about likely produced a tornado near Zawali and Bayou C or Bayou Si. Likely not on the ground now, but it's just, kind of telling, like, this is a storm that has produced tornadoes and it could continue to do so as it goes up towards Marthaville. So get to shelter now if you haven't gotten there already. We got one tornado warning at the moment. At this very moment right now, if you're just now tuning in, we've got multiple dangerous storms moving across southeast Texas and into Louisiana right now. This includes 2 storms capable of producing tornadoes near Zawali and one a little bit closer to Nome and Beaumont. Take shelter immediately if you're in those areas, especially the one up there closer to Zawali. That's where we've got a report recently of a tornado being down. Don't believe it's still down, but it could come back any moment. The severe weather threat is going to continue until 2 a.m. Central throughout this entire area, with the highest tornado risk being in southeast Texas through the evening and then spreading into Louisiana overnight. Storms are moving fast, anywhere from 30 to 50 miles per hour. The Houston metro is currently under an enhanced risk of severe weather. However, the greatest storm activity has moved out of Houston. So if you're in Houston, go to sleep. If you're tired, I mean, it is pretty early to go to sleep, but the severe weather threat for you today is over, thankfully. It's not over for you quite yet if you're in Port Arthur, Beaumont, Leesville, in Louisiana, Alexandria, Lake Charles, places like that, okay? Heavy rain is hiding most of these tornadoes, and they can form very quickly with little warning. Don't wait until you see or hear a tornado tonight. Take shelter immediately as soon as the warnings are issued for your area. This is a particularly dangerous kind of event because severe storms are going to continue after dark, and that always makes things worse. Yeah, also feel free to hit the like button. That also helps us reach new people. There might be somebody on YouTube right now watching something, and they're just not even aware of the tornado warnings. And maybe the way that they're going to hear about us is by seeing us in the recommended feed. That doesn't happen unless people are liking the video like you would a regular YouTube video. So hit that like button. Thank you, Valerie. Thank you, Jonathan. A lot of these storms right now are moving parallel to Interstate 10. That's why we're pulling up a lot of the traffic cameras now. In Louisiana, we have access to the amazing Department of Transportation's traffic camera network there. Didn't have that in Texas. If you live in Texas, write a letter to your local DOT guy, whoever it is. Like, hey, listen, this weather guy I watch on YouTube, he needs live traffic cameras. So can we divert some tax dollars? Actually don't do that. But in Louisiana, we have them. All right. And that'll help us keep an eye on these storms. But they're moving parallel to Interstate 10 and places like Interstate 69. This is going to make travel extremely dangerous overnight. If you're planning to drive between Houston, Beaumont, and Lake Charles, consider delaying your trip. There's a lot of people on that road. We can see that through the traffic cameras because this is the day after Christmas. Okay? So, yeah. There's also a big flooding concern. We got a bunch of flash flood warnings ongoing right now. The ground's already super saturated from recent rains. This is increasing the risk of trees being uprooted by severe winds, and the falling trees could cause extended power outages. So keep that in mind. Cell service could be impacted tonight as well for the same reason. We've got multiple severe storms in the area. Cell towers might become overwhelmed. Or maybe even damaged. Make sure you have a backup plan to receive warnings like a NOAA weather radio. If you've never heard me talk about a NOAA weather radio before, I love those things. I call them essentially smoke detectors. Basically like a smoke detector in your house for fire. Having a NOAA weather radio is like that, but for flash floods, severe thunderstorms, and tornadoes. You can go to sleep soundly knowing that thing's going to wake you up if there's a warning for your area. And we have them over there on the shopryanhall.com website. So yeah, that's one place that you can get those. Another unique impact of the severe weather situation right now is a lot of major medical centers across Southeast Texas have activated their severe weather protocols. If you have medical appointments tomorrow morning, check ahead as schedules may be impacted. And less likely impacts, but still stuff worth mentioning, include the fact that the Golden Triangle's refineries and chemical plants are in the path of some of the stronger storms. Anybody who lives near those facilities should probably stay alert for any emergency notifications beyond weather warnings, just in case. Very, 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 very small chance anything, out of pocket happens there. Newton and Beauregard, new special weather statement. Let's go read up on that. So down here in Newton County, Texas, and Beauregard Parish in Louisiana, we've got a strong thunderstorm near Trout Creek, and it's moving. It's about 8 miles east of Call, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. It's not a severe thunderstorm yet, but it's packing quite a punch. If you're in Old Salem, Bon Weir, Maryville, Bivens, or Trout Creek, you're going to want to move indoors now. Don't wait for the storm to intensify. We expect that it will. Wind gusts could be up there near 50 miles per hour, and that's strong enough to bring down small branches by itself. We've got a lot of reports of really intense lightning with this storm. So cloud-to-ground lightning is going to be possible, potentially deadly to those people that are outside. Heavy rainfall is also capable of producing flash flooding in this one as well. And this area is also under a tornado watch until 2 a.m. Central. Texas has traffic cameras available. Somebody send me a link to that. I have yet to find live traffic cameras in Texas. Texas has traffic cameras that take pictures every 5 minutes or something. That's not as useful, in my opinion, as the live video feeds that we see here. But if I'm wrong, somebody link me to it. Jenny, thank you for that. Thanks for all the new members and everybody that's been generous in chat. Thankfully, today has been not too bad. You know what I'm saying? It's not over yet, but so far, looks like we dodged a little bit of a bullet down here. Unfortunately, I've got a bad feeling about the day 3 situation. We're going to be all gathered here again on Saturday, tracking a much more robust severe weather situation, I believe, in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. This is that day 3 rare enhanced risk out there. Riley, I will set that up for you before Saturday. I promise. Does anybody want to hear some more details about the day 3 risk before we, while we wait on an update for these storms that are going on right now? All right. All right, so here is the graphic. This is the day 3 severe outlook right here. It's enhanced. It's as rare. It's the first ever enhanced risk on the day 3 outlook for Alabama ever in December. So take that however you will. It's also going to be our first day 3 enhanced that we've seen at all since May 26th. So it looks like we're going to have significant severe weather outbreak on Saturday. Mainly for North Louisiana, across Mississippi, and into Western Alabama. The 3 risk levels to be aware of here is going to be the orange one. That's our enhanced risk. That includes Jackson, Monroe, Alexandria, Meridian, and Greenville. Much larger slight risk there that includes Baton Rouge, Shreveport, Lafayette, Tuscaloosa, and Lake Charles. And then the dark green is going to be a marginal risk that extends to Houston, Memphis, New Orleans, Birmingham, and Montgomery. The storms are likely going to start ramping up Saturday morning and continue into the evening hours. So this is going to be an all-day thing. There's going to be multiple rounds. We'll be live in the morning, more than likely. And then it's going to go all the way through the evening hours, with some areas seeing multiple rounds of severe weather. The main threats that we're watching right now are tornadoes. I think that tornadoes are going to be possible here, especially in the enhanced risk area. Some of those could be strong. Damaging winds could exceed 60 miles per hour. Large hail can't be ruled out, and the threat continues after dark. So this will be another situation where we might have to deal with potentially nocturnal tornadoes. We've got a lot of warm, humid Gulf of Mexico air moving northward. Dew points are going to be in the mid-60s. Strong winds aloft are going to create favorable conditions for rotating storms. The trough, in the most recent data that I've looked at, the trough looks to me a little bit less intense than this one, I guess. There's more of a broad area for the lift to occur. In my opinion, it looks more favorable for supercellular, convection over a larger area. That could change a lot. So watch tomorrow's video. There's also going to be a ton of problems. Like if there's multiple rounds, instability could be zapped up by that first round. Who knows what's going to happen, but right now it looks more favorable for the more supercellular type of storms, in my opinion. And then also we've got just a powerful overall weather system moving in from Texas that's driving the whole thing. So make sure you're going to be weather aware all day on Saturday in northern Louisiana, central and southern Mississippi, and western Alabama. And then make sure you have ways to get warnings and alerts. Before I go live, tune into that 24/7 channel, the Ryan Hall Y'all Extra channels, free resource for you. If I'm not live yet and stuff's going on early in the morning, that thing will be relaying warnings to you. Get a weather radio if you haven't already, or just, pick your favorite local weather guy. Make sure you have a way of getting warnings and alerts. Turn them on your phone and all that good stuff. But the weather radio, in my opinion, is essential, especially at night. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what we know right now. It's the day 3 outlook, so there's not a lot of information. Tomorrow I'm going to have a video, and it will be very telling, I think, of what we can expect on I'll have more details for you. Yeah, confidence in severe weather this far out is somewhat concerning. It's not if we're going to have severe weather. Now it's just like, how severe is it going to be, We're down to 1 severe thunderstorm warning. Things are calming down. We're going to push it out here. Obviously, I definitely want to see how the storms are going to look once they get into southwestern portions of Louisiana, because that tornado watch does go until 2 a.m. And I don't want to call it, too early here. So we're not going to end the stream just yet, but at some point we will wrap it up. I think you should develop your own. Yeah, it's the Subway guy. Stuff like that's possible. We've got a small team here, so we work kind of slow, but all this cool stuff like that we've got now, and we've been working on it for a while, and in the future we'll have even more. That is one of the things that we're working on for sure. Rock and Reels, Ryan, do you think there's a chance of a moderate or maybe even a high risk? Yeah, there's a chance, for sure. Statistically speaking, anytime we see a day 3 enhanced risk, a lot of times those do end up being a moderate risk on day 1, but it's not a guarantee. And it's not always an indicator of, okay, day 3 enhanced means day 1 high or moderate. Sometimes it can just mean that, okay, day 1's also going to be enhanced, but we were very confident in that level of severe weather, 3 days ahead of time. So yeah, certainly don't know what we're going to be looking at on day 1, but, like I said, tomorrow will be very telling, and we'll have a really information packed video tomorrow, explaining everything. And then likely we're going to be live all day Saturday. Yeah, Rolling Fork is in the risk on Saturday. So that's always unfortunate whenever we deal with situations like that. But, very unlikely that anything happens in that very specific location. But it is important to be hyper weather aware regardless. Oh, yeah, Brad Arnold will almost certainly be out Saturday. That's like right in his backyard. He was on the fence about going out today. He chose not to. Probably made the right choice. Even though there were a couple of somewhat photogenic tornadoes today, so I'm sure he would have liked to have been out there, but I think there's going to be a much larger amount to choose from on Saturday, the way things are looking right now. Yeah, once again, Austin and Nikki are asking about Rolling Fork. Yes, Rolling Fork is in the risk area for Saturday. Given their recent tornado history, it's very understandable to be concerned. However, this area is very experienced with severe weather, and the key is just to stay weather aware. For James and Melinda in chat near Beaumont and Vider, you guys are currently on the western edge of this system in the marginal risk area, especially Melinda. Keep an eye on the conditions, but the most significant weather is expected further east. It's a little bit of a different story in Beaumont. You are under a severe thunderstorm warning right now, so make sure that you are getting to a safe spot if you haven't gotten there already. Castor is asking about Lafayette. While Lafayette is in the slight risk area, it's too early to predict a specific, tornado warning issuances for that area. You are under a tornado watch. Just make sure you have, alert methods ready and all the way until 2 a.m. That's when the threat really starts to subside. Natchitoches is in the slight risk zone just outside of the enhanced. And this is for day 3, by the way. That was for day 3. I'm assuming you were asking about day 3. Also for Saturday, Samuel is asking about Vicksburg. Vicksburg is in the enhanced risk area. Yeah, last Saturday of 2024 is going to be pretty intense for some of you. Joe, what about Lafayette, Louisiana on Saturday? Lafayette is in the slight risk. It's not in the highest risk category, but you should still say weather aware for sure. You're likely going to see storms moving through all day on Saturday, and the environment's going to support strong winds, large hail, and we can't rule out an isolated tornado, but the vast majority of the tornado activity, I believe, is going to be happening to your north and east. Mac, yep, you're right to be concerned. It is rare, and the enhanced designation does not get thrown around lightly, especially this far out, 3 days. So yeah, the environment's going to be quite favorable for severe storms. We're going to have some wind shear. We're going to have, and for December, these are good numbers. We're going to have anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 joules per kilogram of CAPE to work with. Rich moisture content, dew points in the mid 60s right there around where you live in Jackson. What's most concerning about this setup, I believe it's going to be the multiple rounds of storms that are possible. A lot of our biggest severe weather setups have that attribute to them. You know, you have an early morning round, you have an afternoon round, you have an evening round. This looks like one of those kind of deals. The threat is going to continue after dark, so that is something to consider as well. And then, so the things that we don't know are the exact timing of the strongest storms. We don't know if the morning round is going to be where most of the damage occurs. We don't know if it's going to be the afternoon or the evening, yada, yada, yada. So that we likely won't know until the day of. We don't know how the morning storms are going to affect later development. So a lot of times whenever you get multiple rounds of storms, one of them, usually the first one is going to be the one that does the most damage because it steals all the energy from the rest of them. However, if there's enough time for the environment to recover between each round, that could change. So that's also something that we won't know until the day of. We might have a little bit of a better idea tomorrow whenever the HRRR comes into range. And we also don't know where the final placement of the highest risk area will be. Let's say we do get a moderate risk. I don't know if it's going to include Jackson, even though it's in the enhanced right now. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Best thing that you can do if you're concerned in Jackson, Mississippi right now is just get you a weather radio, subscribe to this channel, turn notifications on, pick you a TV weather dude to follow on Twitter along with myself, Andy, the Storm Chasers, whoever else. And then, yeah, just go ahead and have a plan in place now to execute whenever a tornado warning comes through in the future. Don't be scared, be prepared. Yeah, things are calming down a little bit. I mean, I don't want to call it too early because we do have the strong tornadoes possible there in southern Louisiana. However, I do think let's go ahead and set let's go ahead and set the criteria here. If our weather intensity score drops below 55, we'll probably call it for the night. And then we'll see you again on Saturday. Now, if you want to continue to watch live weather coverage and continue to get those real-time warnings and alerts as they come in for the next 24, 48 hours, however long you want to watch, if you stay here on this stream whenever we end this one, you're going to be automatically redirected to our 24/7 live stream. So our live coverage essentially never stops now that we have the 24/7 channel. How unusual is this for December? Well, if you're specifically talking about the day 3 risk, if you're specifically talking about this, that's actually somewhat unusual. It's not unusual where it is. This is exactly where we would expect to see severe weather this time of year. It is a little bit less likely that it happens in December, especially the day 3 confidence. The fact that we're so confident that we're going to have severe weather this far out is somewhat unusual for December. It's not unheard of, though. This is the first ever day 3 enhanced in Alabama, so that is something noteworthy. What's the weather intensity score have to be before it's counted as extreme? Over 150. Mayfield would have had a score of 255. I'll run that day through our algorithm, and I'll see maybe before Saturday. But I don't know right now. I couldn't tell you. It would definitely be high because we had a tornado emergency. We had multiple ongoing storms at the same time. More intense. Our highest score probably would have been either during the Hurricane Milton coverage because there were just so many warnings at the same time. Even though none of them were emergencies, we had multiple PDS and observed. Or the April 26th tornado outbreak earlier this year, or March 31st. Those all probably would have been higher than the Mayfield day because it's not just about how strong one particular storm is. It's about how intense the weather is nationwide. Yeah, the next SBC outlook will come in the morning, about 8 hours from now. Oh yeah, the April 2011 outbreak would have been nuts. Maybe like 500 or something. I don't even know. So we did have a version of the algorithm running during Hurricane Helene, and I believe it got up in the 200s. But the algorithm is much more refined now. I don't know if the number would have been higher or lower with the new approach that we're taking, but it was in the 200s during Helene. No, I don't think that we'll see anything reach up to Kentucky. I could be wrong. Maybe a marginal risk in southern portions of Kentucky, but as of right now, this definitely looks like a Dixie Alley event for sure. In about 10 minutes, our only severe thunderstorm warning is going to be allowed to expire. Oh yeah, I was looking at the wrong thing. I was looking at day 3. My bad. The next day 1 outlook, it will be out in 10 minutes. My bad. I was looking at the day 3. My bad. The next day 3 update will be in the morning, which we're going to be looking at day 2 by then anyways. Yep. So we'll stay on the air here to relay the last update of the night for the Storm Prediction Center, and then we'll probably call it a night. Once again, I hope that we do a pretty good job of getting the word out about Saturday, because people are just not in the mindset for severe weather right now. Go ahead, Elijah.
Hey, Ryan. So I have a report here, and unfortunately, it's not much information because there's not much information that's been reported yet. But we actually do have a tornado that was reported. This was several hours ago in southwestern Houston, near Sugarland, one of the suburbs of Houston. So they reported structural damage to several buildings from a very brief tornado. So I do not know what I don't have any information about that tornado. I don't actually know if it was warned or not. There is a chance that tornado was not a warned tornado. So I will try to find more information on it, but I have nothing else on that yet.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Elijah. Once again, still so far so good as far as the reports go. We have had actually we've had quite a few tornadoes today. Relatively, but thankfully no big damage reports, no towns hit or anything like that. Everything's been pretty minimal so far as we can tell. All right, SPC Outlook is out. and the enhanced risk has been removed. So we just got a slight risk now. For the rest of, tonight into the early morning hours. So that means that it's probably a good time for us to wrap it up here. Remember, we are going to be live again on Saturday, more than likely. So make sure you've got notifications turned on. Make sure you subscribe and all that good stuff. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send y'all, stay tuned, stay here. I'm going to send you all to our 24/7 channel so YALLBOT can continue to keep you updated in real time as new warnings come out. There are going to continue to be new severe thunderstorm warnings and maybe even a couple tornado warnings tonight as the storms move through portions of Louisiana. But we are past the worst of the system, it seems like. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in a video.